channel. Today's video is going to be a full tutorial on this makeup look right here. On New Year's Eve, I posted a photo wearing this makeup and you guys loved it so much, and there's a lot of people asking me to do a tutorial on it, so I thought I would sit down and film it for you guys. I think it's the perfect look for a date night, and with Valentine's Day coming up, I thought why not? So if you guys are interested in seeing how I did this look, just keep watching. So I went ahead and did my brows and did one eye off camera so we can just focus on this one. And the first thing that we are going to do is prep our eye for some eyeshadow. Today I'm going to be using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and I'm just going to apply that on my lid lightly, and then we're just going to blend it out. I'm using a Wet n Wild brush. I'm not actually sure what this brush is supposed to be for, but I like to use it to blend out concealer underneath my eyebrow and then all over my eyes. It works really well. I tried to move you guys a little closer in the lighting. My mirror, I feel like, and the tripod is kind of blocking it, but hopefully it's okay. I'm working on lighting. We'll see if I can figure something out. Now that we have the base nice and laid down, we can start on eyeshadow. Today for the eyes, we are using the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. It is my all-time favorite palette. I use it very, very often. I'm starting to hit pan on this shade here. The first shade I'm going to dip into is Raw Sienna. It is the very first shade on the bottom. It is just a matte warm brown. And I'm gonna go in using the E27 from Morphe. And I'm just gonna dip this into the palette, dust off some excess, and we're going to blend this into the crease very lightly. We're just going to add a little bit of color and definition. And I'm just lightly running this over my lid. Now that I have that nice and laid down, it's just very soft and warm, and I didn't really bring it down onto the lid, just into the crease and up to the brow bone. It's nice and blended out. We are going to move on to the next color. Next, I'm going to dip into Cypress Umber. This is the really dark matte brown on the end of the palette, the one that I have hit pan on. It's one of my favorite shades to use to smoke out the eye. I'm going to go in with my Morphe brush. This is from the Rose Gold set that you can get at Ulta and possibly their store as well. But I'm going to just dip in to the palette. As you can see, it's very coated. So I'm going to dust off some excess. And what you're gonna do is just start packing it on to the corner first. This is a natural hair eyeshadow brush, and I find that it holds on and helps pack on powder like easier than a synthetic hair brush. Even with this being a blending brush, it packs on pretty well. So we're just gonna do that a couple times. And once we kind of have it intensified, we're gonna start smoking it outward to make a nice cat eye effect. I feel like the cat eye shape of eyeshadow looks best on my eyes instead of a rounded shape. And you're just going to start blending this up towards your brow bone and to the outer part of your eye, to the end of your eyebrow. And if you need more, just go in, dip in, kind of pack it on, and then start lightly feathering it outwards. Now that I have that packed on there, I'm going to go back in with Raw Sienna on the Morphe E27 that I used at the beginning and just kind of dust over it to add a little bit more warmth to the shade and just kind of diffuse the dark shade. I went ahead and picked up that natural hair brush without any product on it, and I'm just kind of blending out the edges. My eyelid on this side likes to hold on to the product right there, so it always looks weird. So now we're gonna prep the inner corner of our eye for this really pretty glitter. So we're gonna go back in with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. If you watch my Easy Half Cut Crease, this is basically the same thing that I did in that video. I'm not doing anything super precise, so you don't have to be careful when applying this, but you're just gonna apply it on the edge of your eyelid, and then I'm just going to open my eye, and it's going to show me where the eyeshadow would hit. And I'm going to go in with the concealer brush, and I'm just going to start blending that out. And like I said, it doesn't have to be super sharp, so don't feel like it needs to be really precise. Just blend it out so there's no harsh lines. We're just prepping it so it's nice and light for the lighter shadow and glitter. So before laying down any shadow, I'm gonna go back in with this natural hair blending brush and just kind of diffuse the edges. I don't have any product on it. It's just softening it out. Before putting down the glitter, I'm gonna go in with the color of Vermeer. This is a really pretty like pink shimmer shade. If you don't have any glitter, this is what you can just use all over the lid and be done with it. But I'm gonna lay that down as a base and then go over it with some glitter. I'm just using a natural hair packing brush, and it looks like I'm hitting pan on Vermeer. And what you're gonna do is just lay it all over the lid and just start blending it up into where you made that nice crease with the concealer. If this is the only shade you're using on the lid, you could totally foil this eyeshadow and spray it with some setting spray or Fix Plus, but I am not, so I'm just going to lay it all over the lid. I'm then going to go back and once again diffuse the edges because I don't want it super harsh. Now before laying down the glitter, I'm going to go ahead and start adding a gradient to where the concealer in the darkest shade was. For this step, I'm going to use the shade Warm Taupe. It is a matte grayish brown, and I'm just putting this on a Sonia Kashuk packing brush, and all I'm going to do is start patting it and flicking it outwards into the dark shade. If you get a little bit of excess product that kind of flicked off the brush, just take another fluffy brush and start flicking it back towards it very lightly, and it just gives a really soft, easy gradient. So if all you have is the Modern Renaissance palette, you could totally stop here, add some liner, some lashes, and you'd have a really pretty smoky eyeshadow look. But we are gonna add some glitter. For glitter today, I'm gonna be using the Stila Glitter and Glow in the color Smoky Storm. This is just like a cool tone bronze shade, and I think it goes really well with all these colors. So what I'm gonna do is just swipe it on the eye, and the trick to these shadows is once you get it on the eye, you're gonna start patting it out, because if not, it sometimes cracks. So you want to kind of pat out the formula. And you can do a couple layers of this depending on how much glitter you want. I'm really only going to do one pass. I just added some glitter where I didn't get it the first time. And just like when we added Vermeer, we're going to have to blend that in to the outer shades. For this, I'm actually going to dip into Antique Bronze, which is like a metallic bronze shade, and we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with Warm Taupe. We're going to just tap it, not get too much product, tap it on the edge of the glitter. I'm not going to flick it out as much, but I'm just going to kind of pack it onto the glitter and the matte shades in the outer part. And this, once again, just creates a really nice gradient, and the shimmer shade helps blend in the glitter that you just applied. So at this point in the eyeshadow, I'm just kind of building up the outer corner. I am going back on this side because the other side's a little bit more smoky and dramatic. So we're just adding a little bit of Cypress Umber to the outer corner. That's the only thing I don't like about doing one eye before the other, is they don't usually end up looking the same or exact same at the end. I usually have to kind of tweak them. And that is basically it for the eyeshadow. So I'm going to apply lashes off camera, and then we'll come back and do the base. So I got my lashes on. I'm wearing the Lash Pop lashes in Sin Nudes, basically the only pair of lashes I wear. And then I went ahead and prepped my face. I toned it, and then I did put primer on my nose today, and I'm using the Cover FX blurring primer. I tried something a little different, so I just did that off camera, and we can jump in to foundation. For foundation today, I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Matte in the shade 102 Shell Beige. I love this foundation, and it also is a pretty good match for me, so that is what we're using. I'm so sorry about the shadow. I don't even understand. I feel like I haven't had that problem before. And I'm just using a damp beauty sponge. As you can see, this is a very full coverage, what I like. For concealer, I'm using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch in the shade 105. And I'm just gonna let my concealer underneath my eyes dry down for a little bit so that it is full coverage. I'd say that is long enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out. I am also using this to sharpen my eyeshadow a little bit. Just be careful that you don't go too high because it's kind of hard to fix if you do. And that is what we call coverage. For setting powder, I'm gonna go in with the Fit Me translucent powder in the color Fair, and I've just been setting underneath my eyes, not really anywhere else. And I've kind of been liking it since this foundation is matte and then it is not super humid here where I'm at in California. I don't feel like I need a lot of powder and it's just been working. So we're going to go ahead and set the under eyes and that's it. So while that is baking, we're gonna go ahead and contour. Today I'm using the Butter Bronzer in the shade Deep Bronze. This is my favorite bronzer of all time. And I'm just using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I think I saw that they repackaged it like in a different color, but I love this brush for contour. So we're tapping off a little bit extra and we're just going into the hollows of our cheekbones and then blending upwards. So you can see it's just really pretty. And we're just gonna keep building this up until I have the desired amount. I did lift my mirror up. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not looking down as much, so hopefully that helps. I'm gonna add just a little bit on my forehead, just whatever's left over on the brush because I don't need a ton. For blush, I'm gonna be using the Juvia's Place Sahara Blush Volume 2. And I think today I'm gonna go in with B, which is this matte mauve shade. And I'm just using my Aesthetica brush number 2. I think that's what this is. I'm gonna start diffusing some of the bake with this. So if you brush any of your powder underneath your eyes off, that's totally fine. This blush palette is so good. I love it. I really need to try their eyeshadows because I haven't yet. The bake has sat there long enough, so we're gonna go ahead and brush it off. I'm using the Luxie 660. This is actually a foundation brush, but it's nice and fluffy, so I'm just gonna use it to kind of brush this off. Now before adding highlight, we're gonna go in and blend everything because the blush is just a little bit too much. It will look really good once we put highlight on, but I know some people don't like a bam blush, so we're going to diffuse it a little bit. This is just a flat top brush. It's actually from Walmart and I got it a billion years ago and it's lasted this long. It is my favorite brush to blend out my contour, blush, and highlight. Now before adding highlight, I'm going to go ahead and kind of just cut my contour a little bit. I'm not adding any extra product to this sponge, but I'm just using whatever's left over from our powder that we baked with and kind of running it underneath, giving that an extra definition. For highlight today, I'm actually going to be using 2 different ones, but they're like the same thing, just 2 different colors. It's the Master Chrome Studio Highlight by Maybelline. I'm going to be using Molten Gold, which is their original color that I was featured in BuzzFeed for. And then also I'm going to be using the color 250. This is the Nikki Tutorials one. It is Ulta exclusive, but I really like it to top because it's very light, but nothing beats this gold one. I feel like it lays a really nice base, and then if it's too gold or like too yellow for you, you can just add a lighter highlight on top and it just makes it very blinding. The brush I'm using today is the Luxie 522 and it is actually a tapered highlighting brush, so we're using it for its correct purpose. You see, it's just so pretty. I actually like these highlighters better than the Wet n Wild highlighters. I love the Wet n Wild highlighters. It's such a good drugstore highlighter and for the price, but I honestly like the formula of the Maybelline Master Chrome better. And I'm kind of just going to highlight the high points on my face with this shade and my chin. So on top of that, I'm just going to take the Master Chrome highlight in 250. Like I said, I'm putting it on the same brush and we're just going to put this on top of where we put the gold, just on our cheeks though. And it's just going to make it, oh, so good. And then I'm gonna make sure I got the apples on my cheeks, so when I smile, I got these beaming. I'm also gonna take the shade on my pinky finger and really highlight my nose. So we are almost done with the face, but I'm gonna go ahead and contour my nose just slightly. I didn't bring a brush over here, but we're gonna use this Lorac contour brush and the Physicians Formula powder that we used earlier. And we're just going to slightly contour. I'm then gonna take my sponge that had the powder on it and just press it on the side of my nose. And then we're going to brush away the powder we put underneath our contour just slightly. And we're going to blend our nose slightly, trying not to move any of the liquid product on my nose because foundation and stuff does not like to stick to my nose at all. So I gotta be careful. I'd say that looks pretty good. We're looking very full glam. So before setting our face and doing lips, I'm gonna finish underneath the eyes. I'm gonna go back in with the Modern Renaissance palette, and I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Warm Taupe, which was this cooler tone brown first, and we're gonna just smoke out the bottom lash line. I'm just using a small crease brush. I think this is from BH Cosmetics. We are taking this shade and just connecting it to the shadow from the top and then dragging it forward. I'm also gonna dip into Raw Sienna, which was that light, warm, matte shade. That was the very first shade that we used, and kind of buff it out to add just a little bit of warmth. I was telling my friend the other day a good trick with creasing under eyes is to make sure that you're putting eyeshadow on your lower lash line and kind of buffing it out. It kind of blends the concealer out, and it also hides any imperfections. It just really covers up any creasing that you might have going on. For the inner corner highlight, I'm gonna dip into the Master Chrome highlight that we use on our cheeks, the 250 Nikki Tutorials one. I'm just gonna put it on my pinky, and I'm just going to dab it in the inner corner. I'm not gonna add too much, I don't think. I don't know, is that a lot? I can't tell. But just to add a little bit of oomph. Looking at myself in the monitor, and we look very beat right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with setting spray and then do the lips and my mascara on the bottom lash line, just because I don't want to get a ton of mascara on my face because it will be a little bit wet. I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, my favorite setting spray. While that dries, I'm gonna line my lips, and I'm using the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the color Sandstorm. And this is where I need to get closer to my mirror. You guys, was it my mirror causing that shadow? Oh my gosh, it was. I told you I lifted it a little bit higher so that I wasn't like looking down, and it was my mirror. Now I know. I'll be better next time, guys. Sorry. Well, I'm glad it's not the tripod because I was really worried. I was like, I feel like it's not like that all the time. And I also didn't know how I was gonna move around a tripod because I can't really move it. Well, now I know it's my mirror. It just needs to be a little bit lower, so bear with me. I'm gonna look down and do my liner. Oh my God, that annoys me so much. When I originally did this look on New Year's Eve, I wore the Smashbox liquid lipstick in Stepping Out. It is a matte liquid lipstick. It is my favorite formula of liquid lipsticks. They are so good, and this is one of my favorite colors. I love, love, love it. It is a nice mauve shade, but today I think I want something a little bit more juicy, a little bit more glossy. So I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Color Jolt Intense Lip Paint in the color Stripped Down. It is also a mauve shade, but glossy. My lips are also super dry right now, so this will help. And this is what Stripped Down looks like. It is so pretty. I'm obsessed. And last but not least, we're gonna add some mascara to the bottom lashes and we'll be done. And this is the finished look. I think it turned out so good, you guys. It's really pretty, perfect for date night or just doing full glam and feeling good. I really, really like it. I'm so glad you guys requested it. It is the exact same look that I did on New Year's Eve. When I posted on Insta stories, I had so many of you guys ask for me to do a tutorial. So this is the exact same look besides liner. I didn't do a winged liner when I have my hair down. I just like doing lashes, but when my hair is snatched in a ponytail, I feel like I can get away with a really nice thick wing. And then the only other thing that I changed was the lip, which I mentioned already. But other than that, this is the exact same look. And I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'm really sorry about the mirror situation that we figured out at the very end. There will be no more shadows on me. That will not happen again. I'm sure some of you guys don't care, but other people find that stuff annoying, and I think it's kind of annoying. And it is now fixed, so we won't do that again. But if you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.